Hello, my lovely Libras. This is your reading for the week of August 3rd. And it started coming in for me actually even yesterday when I started thinking about Libra and the collective energy. So here we go. The first thing that dropped into my mind was this. What is your purpose? And how do you know what your purpose is? And I feel it's particularly important for you, Libra, to understand purpose from a different perspective. Now, what they're starting to say is this. When we have the idea that our purpose is really clearly defined as this thing we are supposed to be doing, we can have a mental perspective of what that should look like and feel like. But when it is a purpose that is only fabricated out of logic, you don't have the heart. And the heart is really where your purpose rests. So what they're saying is this. What if your purpose is merely to be in flow? What if it is not some great legacy you're meant to leave behind? Something big, something powerful, something that is going to be known and understood and valued? What if it isn't any particular thing that is your purpose? What if your purpose is an attitude? What if your purpose is making choices one after the other, and just staying in flow and allowing that to take you where you need to go? And I feel like for you, Libra, this is such an important shift in perception, because you can so often think that everything you're doing needs to look a certain way. It needs to be accepted in a certain way. And again, it's not all highfalutin ego. It's out of wanting to maintain whatever sense of self is going to allow you to feel protected from judgment or criticism. And understand, please, when I say it's not highfalutin ego, I say that because that is actually a survival instinct that's coming out in terms of social standing, self-perception, community. If we think about survival instinct as it existed in primitive days, it would have been being able to provide food, hunting the saber-toothed tiger, staying away from whatever. That's a survival instinct. Well, how that gets translated into modern society is, do you have the money to survive, to buy the food, to keep the home? Do you have the visuals to be part of a community? Do you have what it takes in order to be able to grow a life for yourself, financially, emotionally, spiritually, and in terms of community stability? All of that's essential in terms of survival. Money is part of survival too. And so when we look at all of these different things as aspects that are meant to protect us and keep us safe, you can see where it's a very natural instinct to care about whether or not you fit into a community. What Spirit is asking you to do is to lean into grace, my dears, to lean into grace and realize that I'm going to read this to you because I think if you take nothing away from this reading, if you can get into a feeling of what this grace card is offering and suggesting you tune into, if you can use this on a regular basis, I think it's going to shift the energy for you gradually and quite beautifully in a way where it's going to feel maybe a little bit easier to access. So here we go. Listen to this. Grace has a smooth, easy, peaceful, and supportive quality. It flows naturally into us and through us. It's an experience of letting the benevolent universe take us through our movements and guide us with a loving hand. Notice the feeling quality of this description and return to it today. Every time you're about to do or think about anything, or at any point in the day when you find yourself feeling stressed and thinking too much, return to it. So I love this because the resistance card right next to the grace card, resistance, again, it's about what are you resisting? That's okay. So this is something else that dropped in. I didn't pursue it yet. Okay. So When we talk about resistance on this card, we're talking about when you get to the edge of something. Resistance in and of itself is not a bad thing. It stimulates growth. And we all have resistance around certain things as we're growing because there's a part of the old self that is wanting to hang on to whatever that belief about safety was. So what you're being asked to do is when you find yourself in a stressful situation, over analyzing, pro and con columns, that kind of thing, realize that you are in a resistant state. You are finding two opposing energies or two opposing ideas that are not allowing you to move forward. Now, this can go into many, many, many different levels here. But what I think the basic one, please, give me a really basic one that's going to cover a lot. And that would be resistance can be you choosing to continue to negotiate things in your head, analytically, focusing on the logic of it. It's going back to the logic now, okay? Going back to the logic of it. And what Spirit is saying is, can you actually allow yourself to say, what in this moment is going to make me feel easy? What in this moment is going to decompress the stress? Can I look at that and choose to follow those things? Because for some people, it would be following the things that make me happy, but you're not always aware of what's going to make you happy. It's almost as though you're looking for what is going to make you happy before you let yourself be happy. Relaxed, calm, whatever, fulfilled. Instead now, what Spirit is saying is, instead of looking for the thing that is going to make you any of those things, focus on what resistance you can get out of to let you be in that state, and that will take you to the thing. That will allow you to find your purpose. There's a little something on my blog that I call following the happiness breadcrumbs. And I think, again, you may not always know what's going to make you happy, but you know what's going to get you out of resistance. So a really simple thing. I might be in resistance right now over the fact that, once again, I didn't eat a healthy breakfast. Okay, what's good? And I'm irritated with myself for that. Okay, so what can I do now in this moment? I can look at that and I can say, oh, yes, you didn't. And you weren't hungry. And, oh, you've been feeling like you need a little bit lighter food these days. So can you look at that, Lynn, as something that might have actually been something instinctive in a really positive way? Yeah, I can look at it like that. Is it true? Maybe, maybe not. But it makes me feel good to say that. And making me feel good now puts me into a kinder state towards myself, in which event now means that I'm going to be more inclined to take better care of myself from a loving place. I'm not going to go, oh yeah, let's just skip dinner too. I'm going to say, okay, now what would be good? What would be good for dinner? As opposed to, well, I better eat 17 vegetables and 42 units of protein. No, it's that ease, it's that quality. It's one small, simple thing at a time. Now, again, that's a really, really simple explanation, and that may not be something you can resonate with. But the idea about resistance is check out what the two things are. It gives you information about where you can go and what you can do. It can lead you in the direction of where is the flow in this? Where's the resistance and where's the flow? And sometimes it's just as easy as that. What is flow? Flow is feeling peaceful. Flow is feeling engaged and not stressed. Flow has different feelings for different people, I imagine. But for me, I can say it's that sense of expansion. It's that sense of possibility. It's that sense of being able to respond to things rather than feeling like I have responsibility. And I think specifically when it comes to purpose, especially for those of us who are doing this work of consciousness, it's so easy to feel as though we should be doing this towards creating something magnificent or healing or helpful, or like it's just going to turn the universe around. And while that is a very, very wonderful intention, is to have a positive effect. It does not have to be huge in order to be valuable and valued. And I think this is one of the things that Spirit is saying is, again, what if the only purpose is to be in flow? What if the only purpose is for you to follow incrementally every little thing that makes you feel better in any way, more self-loving in any way, more self-respectful in any way, easier, lighter, calmer, any of those things? That might very well just be what your purpose is. You're being told also, as a way to stay in touch with that, lean into grace. Whenever you feel resistance, lean into grace. Remember, this is about the benevolent universe taking you through your movements and guiding you with a loving hand. It's always there. You feel it when you're in flow. So notice that. And the Smile Full On card here, I think, is really relevant, because what it's saying is make sure that your heart and your head are connecting, so that when you speak, you're speaking, even if it's to yourself, you're speaking with authenticity. You're speaking with that which unites your feeling self with your logical self. Okay? I'm going to leave you with that, my very dear Librans. I hope this makes sense to you. Take good care and much love.